Hey everybody.
Oh, I heard.
Yeah, until the announcer lady says it, we're not official. Welcome to Culturama Week 3, Day 2, and T. Anders Carson gives us a whole bunch of prompts, and this is always the really just a fun experience. I want to tell you a couple of things, but announce a couple of things first. First of all, we're going to have an open mic. We're going to be replacing Ishan Lai's keynote speaker on Friday of next week because she preferred to do a different time. So I get left us a spot, and we thought what we'd do is we do an open mic. And so please bring poems from this and from anything. And I hope Anders will join us, although that'll be maybe pretty late for you. That'll be 5 o'clock at night for us. So that'll be like 8 for you, I think.
8 for me. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Okay. I will see. Send me an email, John. Yeah.
I will. Absolutely. Okay. And we're keeping this going all year long. And we're putting a lot of these anybody who allows us to, we record and we put it up on the web. Now, if you feel that you've written something very private and you don't want it to be put up on the web, we won't do it. Just let me know, and no problem at all. I won't put it up there because I understand you need to have privacy. But where we put it, let me show you, is here. And here you can see a lot of the previous recordings. And if you follow us over here, you'll hear about upcoming Culturama events. We're going to keep it going all year long. And I dropped the in the chat. And okay, so what can I say about Anders? Is except for he's just one of the most wonderful people that we all know here. He's been a poet for years and years, as long as I've known him. Traveled the world, has a lifetime of experience, and he's beaming in from Canada. So he is our neighbor to the north. All right, and I'm in Ontario, California, and he's in Ontario, Canada. So I like that connection. All right, so T. Anders Carson.
Hello, hi everyone. Thank you for coming. Hi. I'm coming to you live from a little village of Portland. I know, not Portland, Maine, not Portland, Oregon, but Portland, Ontario. Population 250. Wow. And we don't have any traffic lights. And when they put in a left-hand turning lane, the whole village turned out to see when they put down all the new pavement. So it was a big to-do. So we have all the essentials here. We have a library, a post office, and a liquor store. So all you need to get through the winter in Canada. So I wanted to, let's start with, we're all here to try to write some new stuff. And as I've done in the past year, we're going to try, let's get our hands going, get our minds moving again. And I thought today, last night, I had trouble sleeping, as we all do sometimes. I did last night. And I heard the wind outside my window. And outside my window, there's these big pine trees. And the wind moves through the pine needles. And wind is a powerful force in all of our lives. Sometimes when you go across a mountain pass, the car moves. You know how they give, I remember I sometimes I miss you folks in LA a lot, and I tune into KTLA to see the traffic patterns and see if they're still moving. And then when they're moving, I'm quite happy that the 5 is moving and the 10. And so, because I don't have that up here. We don't have, like, we have to kind of dodge deer and animals, but other than that, we get through. So what I'd like to try, if we can, with that theme of wind can sometimes, well, now I'm being a little risque, but it can lift up dresses in Paris. Wind can, it can make it difficult for a landing in an airplane. There's nothing more frightening than when I come down on an airplane and all of a sudden the wind is moving it. And I actually had a plane pull up at the last minute before the landing. I've never had that. And then he came in from this was in India back in 1992. And he came from the other side, gonna land, coming down. And I said to my friend, he's coming in way too fast. That wind is wicked, man. And he pulled up again. And there was this British couple in front of us. And this one lady said, if he does that again, I'll scream. And if we came around the bend and coming down the bend, boom, and we landed. And I kissed the ground when we got off. And I said, All right, that was scary. Don't want to repeat that. So wind can affect us in different ways. So if we can try to write a poem wind related, it could be a child blowing one of those little things. It could be a flag, right? I don't know what they're called. You don't know those. I don't know what they're called, but those little things. It could be a flag planted on a hill that they've been fighting over, and many people died. And was it really for naught? It could be planting a flag, and there's no really wind up in space. So wind. You know, I gave all kinds of little prompts there. Wind. Let's try it. Can we give it about another minute? Good job, folks. All right. How are you guys doing? Anyone want to give it a whirl? Some right. It's a harder one. Was this a harder one? I hope not. No.
I will go.
Okay, Robin, let's do it.
I think I made a list poem.
Oh, list poems are fun. I like them.
So Santa Ana season, tumbleweed invaders, scratches, beachside snowmen, white strawberry caps scattered in the streets, allergies, miseries, airborne leaves, dust devils, smoke in the air, the Santa Ana season again.
Thank you, Robin. You see, we started again. Anybody else want to give it a try?
I'll go.
You'll go. Okay, let's do it.
Wind,
Wind.
that cheesy song, "You Were the Wind Beneath My Wings," comes to mind. Have you ever heard lyrics more narcissistically wounded? I pass wind a lot, more than other people, it seems like. My mom is a champion wind passer. She entertained my sons to tears when they were little, with her uber-long expulsions of wind. But I shouldn't tell tales out of school. Soon, at the rate I'm going, I'll surpass her windiness and fly up to heaven in a rush, twisting and twirling like a balloon let loose, that thing that kids blow up.
Thank you, Marta. See, it's different wind. I thought it was a different kind of a prompt. Good job. Thanks, Marta.
You're welcome.
That was anybody else? Aruni? Yeah, I saw the hand up. Yep.
Okay, not terribly windy. First time I drive up to Santa Cruz. The first time I drive up to Santa Cruz to see you is a road trip with Lisa that summer after freshman year. One sunny afternoon, we take the winding road of Highway 17 over from Los Gatos to Santa Cruz, our laughter wild as you take the hairpin turns at speed in your brown Datsun 240. We wander down the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, sampling saltwater taffy and feeding seagulls with stale hot dog buns. You buy me a pinwheel from one of the vendors, and the shiny plastic blades turn and whir in the offshore breeze. The next year, I tape the pinwheel to my desk in front of my electric fan. We don't talk that year, but the breeze from Santa Cruz blows through my dorm room.
Thank you, Aruni. Well done. Yes. See, it's different ones today. Anybody else want to try?
Shema.
Nope. What's that, Shema?
Shema.
So my computer gets weird, so I have to turn off my camera and then unmute my vocal. Okay. I am 12 and bored. My little brother, who is 5 years younger, believes whatever I say if I say it the right way. The clouds shift overhead and I pick a pattern out. Come here, I say, and I'll show you something. He follows with the goodwill of a lamb. I can control the wind, you know. No, you can't, he says, though his eyes are wide. I look up, point at him, and a gust moves the olive tree branches above us. He slaps his hands over his mouth. I say, you just can't tell Mom. Okay, he says, do it again.
Yay! Thanks, Shema. All the way from Holland. Yay! Anybody else? Yeah, Thomas, I saw the hand there.
Okay. I wrote a couple. Standing on the edge, wind at my back, pushing me. I teeter on my toes, resist, fall back. And here another one. Ride my bike down the street, close my eyes, raise my hands. My hair blows back, I fly.
Yes, Thomas, thank you. I like how they're succinct, short, dum, dum, dum. It's like, come here, I got something to show you. Paf! I got some- Thanks, Thomas. Anybody else today? Yes, I saw Susan's hand come up. Yeah, see, I'm yeah.
I didn't miss the first 10 minutes of the meeting, but I caught the wind part right when I came in, so I just went with that. So, Hilltop Castle. The first time I can remember feeling the wind on my face, I was a princess, standing atop my gazebo castle on the desert hill of my grandparents' house, looking out at the acres stretched before me. It was a land all my own, dry but thriving, with the crisp breeze floating up over the mountain, down through the valley, stirring tumbleweeds, racing up the hill to meet my young pink cheeks, swelled in a smile of pride for my desert kingdom.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Susan. I'm glad you stopped in. Yay!
Thanks.
And that is it. Anybody else? We're good? All righty. Okay, we're gonna go to the next one. Now we're gonna try water. We've done wind. Let's try water. I remember when John came to visit me in Canada, he was shocked by how much water we had in my province. Like he would fly and he said, there's water everywhere. And I remember how shocked I was when I went to California the first time and they said, do you want water? And it was in San Francisco. And I remember I was sitting there and they said, would you like water? I said, oh, yes, please. And they asked, it wasn't just poured. You know, they asked to see if you wanted. I went, oh, water. So let's write about water, but water can be down at the lake. It could be down at the ocean, catching a wave. It could be, water. Water is life. Water is, I don't think that, now I'm saying that sounds political, sorry, but I think the water should be for all. But I don't like when they try to take water from people. I don't like that. However, but that's just me. I guess it's the Swede in me. But water. So let's try to write something about water. Okay, we'll give it a minute. All right. Does anyone want to give it a whirl? Water. Lloyd. Let's hear it.
Okay. I'll just read it. I swim out to the center of the bay, far away as I can from all the people and their loudness, without falling into the deep, sudden, dark blue below. I float on my back, and tropical rain wets my face. Storm clouds blowing past Oahu. It's my first day on the island, and I am floating, the ocean water filling my ears to drown out the loudness. I close my eyes and let the raindrops bounce off my eyelids. When I open them again, I am rising higher and higher towards the storm clouds, my body weightless. Then sunlight.
Oh, thank you, Lloyd. Yay. Anybody else? Okay, I will go then. If I see no one's going, I'm going to go. Mine's Mega Waterfall. It was at Niagara Falls, and my close friend's daughter had flown from Sweden. She wanted to see where her father had visited. She wanted to take pictures and wanted to remember. My friend took his life, and she was trying to find some answer. But sometimes there are just more questions. Instead, we stood side by side watching that Herculean force drop in front of our slightly bent knees, our heads subtly bowed. Thank you. Water.
And Anders, Kelsey wants to go next, and then Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, thanks. So we were talking. I think we were talking about like different places we've lived or are living. And when I was a kid, we migrated to Spain when I was about a year and a half, and we lived there for 3 years. And then we moved back when I was about 4 or 5. And so my first memories are there. And coming to the States was quite a shocker. So this one's called Water. In America, it seemed there was much more trouble to avoid. Here I had to wear a shirt, couldn't run bare like my brothers anymore. Here the milk tasted funny, and the water. I remember asking my mother where it came from, this water, and she looked at me perplexed. It comes from here, she said, and the mountains. It tastes funny, I said, different. And I looked at her with eyes she didn't understand. And at school, the fountains had the added metal taste, and the teacher got mad if you drank too much and had to go to the bathroom. So like when I stopped speaking Spanish, when people laughed at me or scratched their heads confused, I stopped drinking the water until I got home, until I felt safe.
Wow. Thank you. Great poem. Thank you, Kelsey. And Thomas, you said was next, John?
Okay. I actually have a title. Wow. Scuba diving test. Drop to the bottom, the ocean floor stark and empty. Bubbles rise from my tank as I take each breath. Even as there is nothing to see but water and sand. This is the most beautiful sight. I am in heaven.
Thank you, Thomas.
I only scuba dive
Anybody-
once.
You only scuba dive once.
Only time. I know, terrible.
Because you only I was too chicken. I'm sorry. I'm too chicken. It was someone messing with my air intake. My wife was scuba diving at Ras Mohammed in Egypt, and they have this wall where it goes straight down. And she said that there was this like one of those sea turtles who came. And like when you come to the wall, you kind of peer and see the wall down the side. And this turtle, she said the turtle came behind, was peeking. Look, what are you looking at? You know, like, and I went, I would love that, but I said I can't do the air intake. It does too much to me. So I can do scubaing. I can do the scuba. I mean, not scuba, but snorkeling. I'll snorkel. Thanks, Thomas. Anybody else? Those are good ones, man. Holy Dinah.
Susan will
Yep,
go.
Susan? Yep.
I think she's on mute.
You're mute, Susan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we yes.
Sorry.
Next step.
I don't have a title, but I'll just call it water for now.
Okay.
When I was 6, my sister told me there were sharks in the deep end of the pool. That Nevada summer, no matter how much the sun swelled or how hot the concrete became beneath my bare feet, I was too scared to go in the water. I stayed safe on scorching ground with scorpions scurrying by every once in a while. They didn't like the water either. When I was 9, my little brother taught me to swim in the community pool. I never made it past the line in the middle. There was darkness there in the deep. I knew that if I put my head underwater, I would see into it. When I was 14, I was the only one on the dock at our Bass Lake summer house. I stared into the fluid abyss from my seat on the cracked wet planks. My sisters called out to me, waving from the boat out in the middle of the deep blue. I swim now, often. I am not afraid of the deep. I know now what is in the darkness.
Thank you. Thanks, Susan. This is awesome. Do, 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 do. You know, like we're 3 poems. We've already got 3 poems. Dun, dun, dun. You know, and you can work on them, and they're yours. They're yours. They're yours. Awesome. Okay, do you want to go on to the next one? Let's try. Okay, now we've done wind. We've done water. Now I thought of fire. Now, fire means a big thing in Southern California. It means a big thing up in Canada. If we don't have a fire in our house, we don't have any heat, and then we die. That's how we heat our house. We don't have gas or oil. It's just fire. So fire. So we've done water, wind, fire. Let's go. I have 1 more minute. Sorry, I was off in La La Land there. So, sorry. Anyone who want to try this one?
I'll do this one.
Hi, China. Thank
Hi. Yeah, I'll try it.
you.
Okay, fire. Homemade fireworks, we found out the Monday after 4th of July had been the cause of death. Garrett, the one I'd partnered with in square dancing and toad dissection, he would not be coming to school. They put gasoline in a bottle, added a rag, a flame. They would outdo the older boys in terms of scope, of noise, and explosivity.
Wow. Kaboom. Thank you, China. Anybody else with fire? I'm going to try one, and I have not written firemen. It was those firemen that were the first to arrive at our home when Mom was drowning in the tub. They are always quicker than the ambulance or the police. They've seen it all. I think of fire because that's how my friend chose to leave. Almost a funeral pyre, calling the fire department to alert them to the burn. He was a volunteer fireman and had seen singed bodies in a corner, the remote still in their hand, some not even bothering to run. But these flames are nothing but reminders of how precious our lives are and how beautiful the need for friendship and trust. I don't know where that came from. Thank you for being here, people. I love you all.
Thomas has one.
Thomas.
Okay, I think I have a lot of poems about fire, and this is one I wrote before, but this is a shorter version. He showed me how to start a field fire with a book of matches set in some dry leaves. I'll pull one match and put it and place it in the book. It gave him time to get away. I'm sure he was the one who burned our high school library, breaking in through the skylight in the roof.
Mm.
I don't remember his name. I can't.
Those poor books.
I know.
Then we've got Shema, and after her, Aruni.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, John.
Okay. That day feels normal. I wake up in the dark morning to go to work with my dad. If I am good, we will go to the Los Angeles market, and maybe I can convince him to buy me a dwarf bunny he won't eat. The seat of my pants is uncomfortable, and when I rub the car's interior beneath my pants, something slick and metallic is there, but I don't think anything of it. The heat of the car while I color or read saps my strength, and I begin to chafe. It's not like anything else I've felt. I lean out of the car and call to my dad. His eyes widen and he comes to the car to tell me I have ripped my pants. He is angry. No rabbit. I am confused. I say, but I haven't been doing anything but waiting in the car. But he doesn't want to hear. After hours of his meetings and of me in that seat, he forces me to wear his giant puffer jacket while we walk the market. It has to be 90 degrees. I ask to go home. He asks if I am sick, and I can't say I feel great. Once we're home, he puts me in the tub and holds up my tattered underwear, mystified. By the time my mom comes home, he remembers. The car battery was left on the front seat, and I'd been sitting in it all day.
Thank you, Shema. Yay.
And Rooney.
Okay. On the ride back from the beach, I brushed sand from my feet into a lopsided pile on the car's floor mat. Brushed the grit of salt from my forearms. I tumble into bed soon after we enter the house, too tired from the long afternoon for more than cursory ablutions. The bonfire is still in my clothes, my tangled hair rich with smoke and knotty pine that burst sparks when the flames lick the sap. I dream flames, wind, and tide.
Oh, I can smell it. Thank you. Thank you, Rooney. Anybody else?
I could go.
We have
Okay.
Sue-
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, no title, but in 5th grade, we spent an entire week inside. We ate lunch in the classroom and played musical chairs for recess. When our parents came to pick us up, they rushed us into cars, covering our faces with worried hands. We would try to peek through their fingers at the falling flakes. It almost looked like snow. The ground was thick with a gray-black blanket, and the air smelled like camping. We wanted to see the flames on the hills, craning our necks around our mothers, oohing and awing at the burning. We were too young to know what the beautiful orange had eaten away.
Mm.
It's so true. Fire. Oof. Anybody else? We're good here?
I don't see anybody.
I don't see anybody. Yeah. Sometimes mine goes in and out, John. Is that okay? Like,
Yeah.
I'm out in the sticks, and like when I say the sticks, we're way out. Remember I told you about that little village of 250? I'm a 10-minute drive to the 250. So we're way out there. Thankfully, we're one of the roads that are plowed first, because in Canada, if your road isn't plowed, you can't go nowhere. So especially in wintertime, and that's about to start. You know what we might have tomorrow? We might have 4 inches of snow.
Oh.
Already. Grr. Beginning. No. Are we ready? Are we ready? And is my boat still in the water? Yep. So I'm going to have to get it out tomorrow morning. I just have a little run around, but that's okay. So what we're going to do with our next one. Here we go on. Segue. Last one of this theme is Earth. So we've done wind, water, fire. We're going to do Earth. Earth can be, it can be sitting around that campfire on the earth, sleeping on the earth instead of sleeping in a mattress. We just got a new bed at our house. I can't believe it. Why didn't we do that before? It's been 25 years. What were we thinking? What were we thinking? Don't wait that long, people, please. Please don't.
Oh, God.
I jumped around. When we put it on, I jumped around like a kangaroo. Like it was like, yeah! Why didn't we do this? However, let's go back to Earth. Earth can be, the first time. There are many of us during this whole pandemic that started a little garden, got our fingers back into the earth, watch things grow. It doesn't come from the supermarket. It actually comes from beans that hopefully, or not beans, but little seeds. That there's nothing like growing your own garden. We did a garden, and we ate all kinds of little tomatoes, and we had to get them before the frost came up here, because we have a very short season in Canada. So, but Earth. So let's try to write something about Earth. Awesome. How about a minute? Awesome. Does anyone want to give it a whirl?
I'll go, Anders.
Okay, let's do it, John.
Okay. No title yet. The end of the day, and I could see the top of Mount Whitney, where I had just been. But what did that matter? I could feel the mountain that I lay on now, halfway down. The mountain my bed, the mountain my brother, the mountain that my bones would eventually crumble into, and then I would be the mountain too. So I slept in the open air of my future forever home and dreamed, and I woke to the prints of bears who had visited me in the night.
I want to go, John. I want to come.
I'll take you.
I know. I know. I know. John, anybody else want to?
Kelsey's up.
Okay.
This one kind of came out like a list poem. Earth. I'm a barefoot girl at heart. I'm only happy when I am smudged with dirt. The hard rocks massaging my feet, the rough gravel, the smooth dry dirt of summertime, the mudlicious puddle wonderful petrichor, the grains of sand between my toes, or the cold water of a rushing creek and the cold river rocks. If not these, I'll still take pavement, though asphalt gets hot unless you walk the painted lines. Avoid the broken bottles in the night, the bumblebees walking confused circles, the dog shit left smeared, whatever the cost, as long as the earth still knows I'm here.
Oh, thank you, Kelsey. I see Robin. I think you're muted.
There.
Yep, we're good.
The only earth we know is what sifts through our fingers, stuck under our fingernails, caked on our bare feet. We move the earth around us while we loosen new plants from pots and place them in the ground. We give to the earth around us, feed it with worm castings and bat guano. The earth gives back to us then this beautiful garden.
I know all about gardens. Yay! Thank you, Robin.
Welcome.
Anybody else? How do you see it, John? I see hands sometimes.
Yeah, I see hands, but I'm scanning. But Susan has her hand up.
Oh, I see. Hi, Susan. Yep.
Hi. No title again, but here I go. Before I left Jessie, we spent the last day together walking alongside the aqueduct. What if you forget about me? I asked. She kissed me and then bent to the ground and took off her shoes. I watched as she gathered the fine sand at our feet, scooping them up into the empty shoes. We'll keep this, she said, our desert. As long as we have this, we won't forget. I knelt down and took off my own shoes and filled them with warm sand. We cut our feet on the rocks and briars all the way home, holding shoes filled with sand.
Thank you, Susan.
Elisa.
Elisa.
My stepmother and I look at the ground, being uncomfortable in our newfound time alone. We see the space where the earth has bowed in. My stepmom comments that they need to fill the hole. We stand together and look at the depressed ground. My father is under that ground. New grass has just barely begun to grow. There is no stone, no marker yet. We know that it is him because we recognize the marker next to him, and know he is there because the sunken earth marks him. He would not like the sunken ground and the mostly brown new grass. He has an immaculate lawn with rose bushes and bonsai trees. My stepmother tends to those flowers and trees now. This was never her hobby, but she keeps at it as though this will keep him around. She tries to water them as he did, twice at night so that it can soak into the ground and never in the hottest part of the day so that the water does not scorch the delicate flowers. There is no vegetable garden this year. He was busy growing a tumor rather than tomatoes. That's as far as I've gotten.
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa. Good job. Good start, eh? Anybody else?
Tom's up.
Yeah, I saw Thomas and I saw China.
This is kind of in my honor of my wife, who said she could write a whole bunch of poems about gardening and such. So there was a space between our fence in the back and the short block wall of the cemetery. Dad put in a gate so he could put in a small garden and dream of when he worked on Grandpa's farm growing up in Kansas.
Thank you, Thomas.
Michelle liked it.
Michelle liked it. And China?
Okay. All right. Yes, she was the Earth Mother, introduced as my new sitter, a tower of power, literally. Better than any fantasy. She'd sweep me up, carry me around, go about her business, just bringing me along for the full ride. Right off the bat, she told me to call my body an Earth suit and treat it as such. Her point, this was all a temporary journey.
Thank you, China. See, we're writing poems. Poems, yay! You know, I have to tell you this story. About 20 years ago, you know how I made money? I sold poems, little booklets of poems at craft shows across Ontario. Not Ontario in the States, but Ontario. And I had these books. And I remember this guy sitting next to me. He said, Andy, you need cats and cows if you're going to sell anything. Cats and cows, Andy. And I sold these poetry books, and I can't believe it. And the best place I sold was up in Northern Ontario, in this place called Sudbury that has the highest smokestack in North America. So you know what they did? They had so bad pollution that they just built the smokestack higher. Now they finally have scrubbers on it and all the rest of it, but it looked like the moon, and the boys and girls from NASA would come and do training outside Sudbury because it looked like the moon. And that's where, I don't know why, I don't know what this says, but most of my poetry sold in Sudbury. So I'm just, I can't believe I tell stories, but I do tell stories. And so anybody else? Blah, blah, blah. We're good? All righty. So what we're going to do is our last one. We've got already four under our belts. Dee, dee, dee. So our fifth one. Now today, I want us to go back to the first time that you were going out, whether it was a date or whether it was, a dance, or was the first time. It's like a first time. Can be anything, I'm Swedish, so like, but first time buying a car, first time seeing the ocean, first time in an airplane, first time that first kiss. Oh, I'll never forget that. Woo! I got really lots of red here all the way up to my ears and down down to my buttocks. But first time. So it's a first time poem. Oh my God. Good job. One more minute. right. Anybody want to give it a try? First times. Nope. Yes. Somebody. We're still writing. I can see some still writing. Yeah, I know. It's a fun one.
There might be somebody here who's never read poetry in public, so this could be their first time. That'd be really cool.
That's very cool.
That's scary.
It's scary. It is scary, but it's okay. I remember my first time. It was in Syracuse, New York. And I got up and I was really scared. I was shaking and I read 3 poems. And at the end of the 3 poems, the guy came up to me and he said, "We want you to come to New York City with us next weekend."
That's cool.
I was 3 hours from Syracuse. That was pretty cool. So sometimes you have to try, you got to try.
My first time reading poetry, there were 50 people in the room. It was at the writing center at the college where I went. And my mom recorded the whole thing. So I have a copy of how bad I was at reading poetry. But then it made me want to get better. So
But that's good. That's good.
yeah.
My first time reading poetry was on a rooftop in Long Beach. The traffic noise was so loud that nobody could hear me. So that was perfect. It was perfect.
Are you serious? On the top and the
Yeah.
My first time was Long Beach too. Cal State. Yeah.
Was it a big season?
It wasn't a lot. It was like an open mic night that they had. And I think there were probably like 40 people. And then I got so scared and my hand shook so much that I dropped all of my papers. And at the end, this girl, Carrie Rudzinski, I don't know if you know who she is, but she's a spoken word performer. She came up to me and she was like one of my favorite poets, and she was like, "I loved your work." Then it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that's why we do it. You try. Yeah. Good. Anybody else remember their first time reading? Or maybe you have not read. That's okay. I know. I was nervous. I remember reading my first time in French. There's this festival up in Quebec called the Festival de Poésie, which is the largest French poetry festival on the planet, bigger than anything in France. And I called the guy up who was running it, and I said, "How come you've never invited me?" I was being a little cheeky. And he said, "Well, have you got anything in French?" And I said, "I could get it translated. How many do you need?" He said, 10. Perfect. 10 it was. And we went up there, and how they do it there, and it's called Trois Rivières, which is 3 rivers, kind of like Pittsburgh, where the 3 rivers meet. And this is called Trois Rivières. And how they do it is it's over a 3-day, and they have the poets read when people are eating. So like that's part of the it's their and it's of course French cuisine, so it's a little, you have to have the knife on that side and the fork on that side and you're reading, and they were mesmerized over there. It was wild. I've never seen en français, they're really into it. So if you ever are in Canada, Trois Rivières, and you know what they have? They have, to begin the poetry festival, it's called, they lay flowers at the tomb of the unknown poet. And I went, "Oh, c'est beau, that's beautiful, that's very French." That's very, yeah, so I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but the Festival de Poésie en Trois-Rivières. So.
Well, Anders, if people don't have anything to read or they don't feel like reading, do you have some of your poetry?
Yeah, I do. I do have some. Maybe if you're. So. I was going to read a different one because some have heard others of many. And it's this is a poem I wrote in California. It's called "You Can't Hear the Freeway." In this park, but one dog owner, diligent, is picking up after their pup's business. Across the street, a school at recess, children squealing with laughter, games being attempted, friends joining in. Not angry noises. This is LA. Couple of blocks over, and there is anger in that schoolyard. Drug dealer cruises the street looking for another customer. A mini Monroe doctrine because this is mine. All of it. I get it. But sometimes I don't. I know the cars on the freeway are moving souls towards their reflective destinies. Clean cars, so clean you can use the 3-second rule if you drop a crumb. There are less crumbs being dropped, and hands along the freeway off-ramps asking for help, having served the flag and been kicked out of the circle. No one to call, only heavens can heal. Photos taken in an afternoon shoot, getting stuck in a tree and having courage to laugh at rudimentary fear of heights. Are you just going to sit there, or are you going to help? My hopeful mantra to get through until noon. You just going to sit.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
We've had 3 people sign up while you're reading. So Tom.
Okay. I wrote this as a haiku years ago, but this is expanded. Sitting on a couch, just the 2 of us and her dog. She made tomato soup with powdered milk. Small chunks of milk floated in the soup. She leaned down, placed her lips on mine. Just a light, quick kiss that has lasted all these years.
Oh.
Thank you, Thomas.
And Sam.
Okay.
There we go. Your hand. The first time was quick and surprising. It left a fog in my eyes and metal in my mouth. My ears wouldn't stop ringing. I remember the feeling of blood beneath my cheek swelling up to the surface. It was hot and stinging. The water spilling over in my eyes seemed to sear my skin as it made its way down and dripped off of my chin.
Thanks, Hen.
And we have Kelsey. Do we?
We did have Kelsey.
Oh, she must have, her thing must have dropped out. That's too bad.
That's too bad. Well, she might come back in. It might be a whoop, whoop, come back.
It's such are the hazards of Zoom.
Yes.
Oh, here she comes.
Here she comes. Yeah.
Hey, Kelsey, are you up?
Oh, cool. I was in and out of the room, so I have no idea what's been going on. But here we are. The first time I went under the knife, I was 11. My parents had asked their friends and coworkers to donate blood, which they did. They also gave me a basket of get well gifts. My best friends gave me a teddy bear and a Goo Goo Dolls CD. My soccer coach's daughter gave me a CD player with headphones. After the surgery, which went rougher than expected, I laid in bed for 2 months, watching leaves outside my window move, listening to the music in my headphones, hugging the bear tight.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
I'm just going to make a plug. Kelsey has a book coming out from Moontide Press, one of the great presses in Los Angeles area.
Congratulations, Kelsey. Yay!
Yay!
When's it come out, Kelsey?
It comes out January 2022.
Yay!
Moontide Press. They've got a lot of great books, so excited to be there.
Is it poetry, Kelsey, or is it
It is. It's poetry, kind of based in memoir in terms of, I started having back surgeries when I was 11. And I've had 9 of them, and it's been quite an experience. So it's sort of focused on that arc and a few other storylines in the tapestry. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. It's 70 pages now. I get to add 30 pages. So starting to just explore some of the moments between what's already in it. So really, yeah. Anyways, thank you, Anders. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Kelsey. Yay! I know all about books, and when they first come out, those first books, yay! So now I can open it up to if you want to ask questions or comments.
And there's, maybe I'll start with the question. If people want to write like on a daily basis and they need prompts, how can you generate your own prompts?
I think the best thing that ever helped was the prompt that you gave me, John. You know what John said? Make time to write every day. Like if every day. And he said, I remember he said to me, okay, if you have to go to work at 7, then get up half an hour earlier to write for half an hour before you go. And then I started saying to him, but I have to be at work at 7, so I have to get up at 4:30. And he said, well, get up at 4, like it's make time to write. Make time to write, because that's the time that we have for ourselves. And it's very important because we don't have a lot of time for ourselves. I remember a couple of years ago, I got to go to the Helena Wurlitzer Foundation to write in the Pueblo, and we had this little Pueblo in Taos, and I wasn't to teach, I wasn't to do any readings, I was just to write. They gave me 3 months up in the mountains. My heart was pounding because I'm not used to altitude, but it was good. It was good to, my second book came out of that experience up there. So I really say take time for yourself to write. It's so important because I can hear that you're all writers. I can see that we're on different journeys along our path to be like whether it's your first book coming out or your 14th book coming out. We've all been there and we all work together as writers. And I don't ever want to be because sometimes I felt like in New York City, I love New York, is kind of strange. In New York City, there's all kinds of art, but I don't know if the art is driven by writers. Like we're part of the boat, but we're not steering. It's kind of, that's how I feel. Like that's what I felt when I was in New York. Like that was a strange place, but I love LA, and I have loved, and I miss coming down and seeing you folks because that's been a highlight of my my last 10 years of my life, coming and seeing Southern California and my friends down there. Like you guys are magic. Helps us get through these dark winters up here. I remember this one Danish guy when I was in Denmark a couple of years ago. It was the middle of July and I was having a really great day. It was sunny. And he said to me, in 6 months, it will be very, very dark. And I went, oh my God. And that was July. He's telling me this. And that's how we get through our, in Canada, like if we watch, I love watching your weather in Southern California because there's so much sun. And they kind of tease us up here. They say sun in about 5 days. So by day 4, you look, and then it says sun in about 5 days. and then you get close again, sun. And I think that's how we get through the winter. They don't want to have us flip out, so that's, I don't know if I answered your question, John, but.
Who else has questions? Okay, I'm gonna talk about something. I'm just gonna plug my own thing here, Anders. We talked about taking Anders to Sequoia. You should know I'm the poet laureate of Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, and we take people up for a week at a time. It's completely free, and you learn how to walk through the woods and see things and how to write about that. So just follow me. on Facebook or on my website or whatever. And if you're interested in that, and several people have been here, Andrew and Susan and Shema, they've all been up there, and it's and Antonio too, and it's just great. So please, and we're gonna try to bring Anders up and give him a week of being Anders in the woods, and I give you all the nicest pieces. I'll give you the best pieces of dirt on the mountain to sleep on. Right. Okay.
It's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
And that is happening in spite of whatever status COVID has?
Well, it's happening eventually. And so either it'll happen this summer or next summer. So I hope. I mean, for the love of God, please.
Oh, God, please.
I've been inside for longer. I don't have a tan anymore. You know, I'm usually out in the woods bopping around.
Oh, God.
So,
no, so I that's what I had to share today, and I'll ask, I can read another poem if you like.
Yeah, well, we'll do one more poem.
Okay, sure, I'll read another one. Biking in Amma. On the Amma Lenavai, there's a small kiosk that sits on the edge of the runway. It serves burgers and fries and cola, all that a man could want. And there's a playground for the kids when it's your weekend. It's been my weekend for 9 months. I'm the show for food, clothing, cleaning, reminding about showers. And you can sit at the edge of the runway and watch those beasts land and take off. It depends on the wind. So much of life depends on the wind, the way people vote, what color of clothes you wear, or if the immigration board will let you in. It depends on the wind. And when you get up in the morning and you strap on a helmet and get on your used bike and start pedaling, if the wind is bad, then it's a lower gear, just like those trucks going up the hills in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I love those mornings when you get all the green lights and the radar gun has you clocked at 30 kilometers an hour and you zip, zip, zip past the sleeping Danes on your way to deliver their shrinking mail. And I look into my off-white helmet, dirtied from biking in the city, and I see strands of gray hair. They've been there for a while. The beard, a mirrored image of gray and dark brown. The wind is blowing. I wrote that in Denmark. It's not, yeah. So, yeah, the wind is blowing. So that was, yeah, today, like I tell you, going to Culturama, because I'm going to do a little plug here, can I? Culturama, I still have vintage shirt here, vintage. And it's, oh, I can't believe it. I've loved going to it. I think I love the sessions. Now, lately it's hard to go on the sessions. I'm not used to this. I did my first team meeting yesterday at work, and sadly I couldn't turn on my camera, but they heard I said, next time you'll get to see my mug. But they, yeah, so no, that's what we do up here in Canada. I don't know if you knew, but I have a new job. I am the vice president of the union for all of Ontario for postmasters and assistants. 95% of my union is women, and I fight for women's rights up here. And it's a wild job, especially during these times. I'm telling you, woo! But I do my best, and they know that, and they see it. I guess it's the Swede in me, but it's been very different because I used to just deliver mail and get parcels. And someone said, yes, how do you follow that? Maybe John, how do they follow? Did you see that? There was a question.
Yeah, okay. So Anders has an allergy to social media. We kind of run a pseudo Anders social media thing for his book. I knew it would come to this. And so if you follow, I knew that it would come to this on Facebook. Anders T. Anders Carson. You'll get more Anders information. And if Anders is going to do anything anywhere near California, I'd say within 1,000 miles of California, Ann and I always announce it. Okay, so you can follow us too. All right, Anders, thank you so much. Wonderful. We got 5 poems today. Today we started off with 0 poems, and already we have 5, and we still have hours to go. So thank you, Anders.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Be safe out there. You know, we get across, we'll get through this. I know we're not supposed to hold hands now, but we need to hold hands. You know, I think, what's that saying? Like, we're all walking each other home. Like,
oh, that's nice.
Do you like that? Like, that's how I'm one of those guys. Okay, I'll walk you home, and then we walk to that guy's house. Okay, then you got to walk me home, and then you got to walk. So everyone gets home safe. We want to make sure everyone gets home safe. So we're all just walking each other home. Thank you, John. Thank you all.
Yeah. So tonight we've got Kareem Tayar in this room at 5 o'clock. And if you want to keep the magic going, I'm actually in this room. I'm hosting. It's not for Culturama, but it's a similar sort of thing. The Sassy Museum is going to have a discussion of art, and it's going to be led by our own Scott Creeley. So if you've been following Scott, you know it'll be in this room right here. So all right, thank you all, and I'll see you soon.
Be safe out there. Bye-bye.